Dear students, good morning to all of you. As it is 30th of June 2020, class 12, subject of study is economics, and our today's topic is income effect on tastes and preferences. Previously, we learned what will be the impact, of income on purchase of goods and services in case of normal goods and in case of inferior goods. Today's our topic is that suppose income of the consumer has changed. Either it will increase or it will decrease. What impact it will lie on his tastes and preferences. Now, in case of change in income of the consumer, if it is a sort of favorable change in his tastes and preferences, it will result in increase of the goods which he is going to purchase at the existing prices. Or in other case, we can say that when there occurs a favorable change in tastes and preferences of the consumer as a result of change in his income, what will happen? These changes will means induce the consumer to buy more of the goods, at the existing prices, and it will reflect or show an increase in the demand of the goods, and there will occur a rightward shift in the demand curve of the consumer. This thing should be noted that whenever there is an increase in demand for goods as a result of change in income but at the existing price, it will indicate us that there will occur a shift in the demand curve, and that will be of the at the right that will be on the rightward direction. This thing should be noted. Second, suppose income of the consumer changes but unfavorable change in taste and preference happiness. What does it imply? It implies that less of the goods which a consumer was previously purchasing, now he will purchase less of those goods, even though the prices doesn't change, there doesn't occur any fluctuation in the prices, means he purchases less of these goods at the existing price, and it will indicate or it will compel him to show a backward shift in his demand curve. What will happen in case of favorable change? In case of favorable change in preferences and tastes of the consumer, the demand curve will show rightward direction, but in case of unfavorable change, the demand curve will show backward shift of the demand curve. And let us illustrate it diagrammatically. Favorable change in tastes and preferences. Unfavorable change as a result of income, as a result of change in income. Okay. Now, unfavorable change in taste and preference as a result of change in income. Change in income. In the first situation, there occurs a favorable change, and in the second situation, there occurs an unfavorable change. How can we illustrate it? Now let us try to illustrate it likewise as along OX axis we refer or we denote quantity demanded, and OY axis represented the price level. As we have already reflected or assumed that prices remain same, there doesn't any change in price, it means the price line is same, it is horizontal, OP is the price level or price line. Previously, the consumer was purchasing this OM1 level of good X. Previously, what sort of good he was purchasing, or what level he was purchasing? OM1 level of good X was purchased by the consumer at price OP. Now, abruptly, his income has rather changed. His income has changed. Now, it has rather increased. His income increased. Now, his demand for good X has increased up to OM2 level. Okay, this change in demand as a result of change in income, while as the prices are constant, it reflects what? Rightward shift of the demand curve. Rightward shift of the demand curve. Now, abruptly, there occurs a reduction in the income of the consumer as a result of so many factors. Just like in the present scenario, the world is suffering from COVID-19 pandemic crisis. Consequently, what will happen? The GDP of the countries will go down, unemployment ratio of the country will increase, consequently production level of the country will decline, and as a result of these things, the income of the consumer as a result of this situation will decrease. His demand for goods will consequently decrease. While the price of the good is same, but due to his change in his income or reduction in his income, his demand for the good has decreased. Now it has reached to D3 level, and D3 level here indicates that now the consumer will purchase only OM3 level of good X. This OM3 level of good X from A to C, from A to B, it reflects the rightward shift, and from A to C, it reflects the backward shift. This backward shift in the demand curve of the consumer itself reflects that due to unfavorable change in his preference and tastes, as a result of change in his income, his demand has decreased. This decrease in income is reflected by the backward shift. This is reflected by the backward shift. This is backward shift, and it is a rightward shift. Okay, now what we learned today? We learned that whenever there occurs a change in income of the consumer, but his favorable change in tastes and preferences will depend upon his income level. If there occurs an increase in his income, consequently he will purchase more while as the prices are same. If there is unfavorable change in his preference and taste, as a result of change in his income means decrease in his income, while as the price of the good is same, it reflects and decrease or backward shift in his demand curve. And this much is enough for today.